Oh, hey. Just caught me in the middle of testing the game out that I have, but let me explain it to you. So, I have a small game going on for my terminal, um, and this is how we start it. So, obviously, I just have to make sure I can start running the game, and that starts with getting the server up and running with this command. So, I'm gonna use the most left of my terminals to explain it. There we go. Doing that, and it activates it. So now it's just waiting for someone to answer and connect to the game and connect to the server. So let me just explain a little bit. So immediately once it builds it, server is starting, server is listening to the 3000 port, and then it creates a lobby the same way and same principle that Fortnite, CSGO, and Call of Duty has of waiting lobbies to connect to the main game. That's what this lobby is also having that same function. Waiting for people to connect, so once you are there, you're able to play. So from here, we grab onto this command, which is the /run.sh project client, and from there we start connecting. So I'm going to make 3 clients so you understand the connection to all 3. And given the fact that I am a JName, I'm also going to give it a JName. So first person to connect is going to be Jake. Jake's going to connect, and then I'm going to name this guy John. So for the easy name. And then Joe. So we got Jake, John, and Joe for the heck of it. And then from there, they're going to connect to the local host on port 3000. And why port 3000? Well, if the port that the server is listening to is a port 3000, then the clients have to go to port 3000 to be able to connect. Because if you try to connect with any other port, it's probably not going to work, and it's probably just going to bounce. So let's just connect regularly with John and with Jake. Jake's finally there, so it's like waiting for client, starting server thread, everything, bunch of just neutral aspects to here. Starts sending the client, sending to client. Jake's initialized, so it recognizes, the server recognizes that Jake's there, and then once there, Jake immediately gets added to the lobby. So you see him there, chilling, perfectly happy. Okay, so let's say I put 3001. It's not exactly going to be fun. So you see, it immediately jumps, it doesn't recognize it, it goes all over the place. Yeah, if you try to open a door that's already locked, or a door that nobody's expecting you to walk through, then you're not going to get a good welcome. So, that being said, let me show you what's going on. Once you connect the proper way, you actually knock on the correct door, you're able to be let in. So, John gets added to the lobby, and Jake immediately gets informed that, hey, John's in the lobby. So from there, let's just get Joe into the lobby, and then great, fabulous. Everyone's in the lobby, we're able to get started. So from there, we immediately go on, and it's like, okay, so we're in the lobby, how exactly are we going to get into the game room? Well, given the fact that this is a bit of a rudimentary game, we're immediately going to go and have Jake make the room for the game, and the game room is going to be called RPS. Why RPS? Because the game that we're going to be playing is rock, paper, scissors. Because of that, it's going to be called RPS. So, as you can see, the second John hits RPS, as that, he immediately leaves the room, leaves the lobby, and gets sent into the room that he just made, which is RPS. So as you can see, you joined RPS. This is the little log file that I get explaining what's going on. So yeah, so Jake's in RPS, he's happy and dandy to get there, but how is John and Joe gonna get into RPS? Well, they have a different command that they're going to have to do. The same way that someone grabs, makes the room in, let's say, or makes the server in Minecraft, or in Among Us, or in any other multiplayer that you can play with your friends. If someone makes the play, they have to invite the rest of them. So this is kind of what it is. They know that Jake is in a different room, and they already know the room name. So what they're gonna do is join room, and then they're gonna put RPS. So great, John's already in the room. Now it's Joe's turn to get into the room. RPS. Okay, great, fabulous. Everyone's in the room, everyone's dandy. And same way goes here. Everyone's in the room. Removing client from previous from there, and that's basically talking about Joe. Joe's the last one to join, so everyone's there. No one's ready yet. No one's said anything yet. No one's ready to play. So from here we go on and we grab this command for everyone. So /ready. Same way you click on start or ready buttons for starting games, Among Us, and everyone, because even the from lobby to like main game to there, Among Us has like a stagnant point where everyone has to make sure they're actually ready to start the game. So this is exactly what it is. So Jake's ready to play, John's ready to play, and Joe is just as ready to play. Right? So great, fabulous. But what's going on right now when it comes to server? This is going on. So the server is timing off and going through a timer to make sure that not only is everyone ready, everyone's making their decisions to play. So from there, we go here. So you have /choice R, /choice P, /choice S. We're going to grab /choice P. Jake's going to put that. John is going to put that. And then there. So round 2 started. That S there. Oh, Jake was eliminated. Doop. Oop. And the system was done. Okay. So yeah, it basically pretty much times out really quickly, as you can see, as long as someone like immediately does their turn in the second round. But either way. So what's going on? What happened? It's like made no sense to everything. So the game's pretty fast paced. You have to make sure you're on time. So let me explain it through the play-by-plays. So round 1 starts after progress phase. So Jake picks, then John, then Joe. And then once everyone made sure that they played, so all 3 of 3, great. So the matchups. So who's fighting who right now? So Jake is versus John, Paper versus Sitter. John beats Jake as a defender, of course. So he has no problem. John gets a point. Next matchup is John versus Joe. They're obviously tied. From there, we go Joe versus Jake, S&P. Joe attacks and breaks Jake. Jake immediately gets eliminated after losing 1 battle while defending, because that's how it is. If you get attacked, you can't defend, you most likely will die. That's just a current thing. So cool. From there, we have to do this. And then this was when John took his turn. John is picked. Yeah, Jake was eliminated. And then the thing is, it's like with Joe was too slow to actually get his pick. So everything there, Joe did not pick and was eliminated. Joe was too slow. So John versus John, yeah, it's a little weird, but he ties off. There's no elimination that round, and given the fact that it's only one person playing, John wins by default. Yay. So John gets a point, Joe gets a point, and Jake's get no points. So that's essentially what's going on. And if we were to play the game again, let me show you what happens if you don't put in the right choice. So let's put real quick. Let's play between two people. Right? So let the timer run out and let Joe just stay there and observe. But let's say you grab this and let's make Jake completely mess up, too fumbly for everything, and got super confused and misclicked. Right, okay, great. The round started, it's RP or S. He's too nervous, he puts down O and starts immediately. Well, he chose wrong. That's not the right choice. Time's still going on. He's supposed to choose. He goes, chooses P, that works. And then let's say John also picked P. But that. And then we go back, we do that, we do R, and then boom. So yeah, that's essentially what's going on there. But it's pretty fun, it's pretty easy, pretty chill. But let me show you exactly, well, okay, that's great, but what's running this? What's making it do it? Well, it's pretty easy to explain what's running it. It is Java codes. Java codes is what's running it. And not only just any Java codes, plenty of classes of Java are running this. So the principal class that is primarily in charge of everything when it comes to the game is Game Room, of course. So not only any Game Room, it's a specific handler there that will get this done. So the handle turn action, okay, like what is that? Well, this basically checks if everyone's in the room, makes sure everyone is in the right phase of the game room, checks if everyone's ready. That /ready command is really useful when you get in there. And then once you select your choice, it gets your choice, it trims it just in case you have any following spaces or anything like that, or in case you put a uppercase instead of lowercase, then you have that and turns it into a lowercase and it immediately processes it. As you saw, if it's an invalid choice, you immediately get booted. If you try to take your turn twice, it's not going to let you. And once of that, it sets the current choice and everything like that, gives you a couple exceptions, and this also tells you, just in case, hey, John, Jake, or Joe already took his turn. From here, it just tells you the eliminations, rounds, defending, who's doing everything, shows you exactly who is attacking who and who's defending, just shows that, gives you the result of it, manages the point system, the attacker, the defender point system, everything's great. The basic rock, paper, scissors logic is found here. So yeah, rock beats scissors, paper beats rock, and scissors beats paper. Very basic, always had seen that for a minute. And from there, we have to move on to server thread. Well, server thread is like the backbone, where it's going, like where is it getting managed, everything like that. These are getters and setters for elimination. If you're eliminated, true or false, it sets your elimination true or false, gets it, get points, get choice, and set choice. So these are just basics to make sure that if you're eliminated, if you got points, they're like properly accounted for, so everything's going smoothly. So here, this is the process payloads, this is how things are managed, this is how things are getting done. So just instead of being a choice payload, we use the turn payload, so it's just a quick and an easy and efficient way to get everything done. From here, we jump to client, exactly what you do, how you do it, and how it processes it. Because the thing is, if you're inputting something, it has to be processed. And because of that, we're going to process client command. From here, it processes every command there is. So if there's a string, it immediately goes into the rest of it. If else, if everything. So it shows if your name command, it shows your list command, shows you quit, disconnect, reverse. It's like you're basically every command you have like here. I'll show you the command file in a second. but basically it join, leave, every when it comes to every command. And this is the command that we're actually interested in, and that is the choice command. So this is just a little log file right there to make sure I know what's going on. And then you have the replace, basically make sure that the command is steady and that you're getting it, and once it's processed as the command, it sends to do turn, which is great. But from there, let me show you the commands. These are all the commands you have. Quit, disconnect, log off, log out, reverse, create room, leave room, join room, name, list users, rooms, ready, do something, all of these, which is pretty fun, pretty great, pretty awesome. But really, it's not really necessary. Do something is just a little test for me. And then if I were to use list/list rooms, it would just list all the rooms that we have available. /name/users, it would just give me a list of Jake, John, and Joe. Most likely in that order. So yeah, basically when it comes to that. And then there's the constants as to why. So yeah. Command, this is before you slash, and so this is the slash that you have to put for choice, then that little space to make your decision, and then just the identifiers. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea and what makes everything work for this little game. Anyway, thank you for paying attention. Thank you for listening to my little game. Hopefully you enjoyed my explanation, but it's a little rudimentary and everything. But hey, here I am having fun with it. But yeah, this is it.